whatever that quarterback's name is. He's going to come up.
Stop.
He's going
Staley's the reason that they're losing.
Listen, I'm not here to talk about why that man's a failure. All I'm saying is he's going to get his money. So his contract would have been guaranteed.
I think time's up.
So what they're trying to do
until this point here.
What they're doing is they're making sure that that's never a thing.
Showed up at the door.
They're never allowing that to be a norm.
Right.
Like, so they're like, the Deshaun Watson thing happened. We hate that it happened. Cleveland did a desperate thing. We're not allowing this to catch on.
Exactly. And Cleveland
because if he gets it, everybody's getting it from now on. They're like, no, we're not allowing that to happen. So that was more of a, and that's the same thing with ownership. And I mean, these guys have to vote on owners.
Right. Cleveland did that shit because they were just so desperate.
Cleveland was desperate.
Somebody. They decided. They just did it with. It had Lamar came out.
Yeah, they would have did it to Lamar. Yes, they would have did it with whoever. But the owners are able to say, stop that guy from getting in. So it's not also about money, because at the end of the day, it's 32 owners. They all happen to be of a certain persuasion, and they're like, we don't want you in here, because there are black people who can afford it, who have been interested and have not been able to get in. Magic is able to get in because he's under somebody else's umbrella, who happens to look like the other owners. They don't care if you're involved. You can't be the guy.
Yeah, I think that the owners do
Except
show...
for Shad Khan.
For sure. But I do think that the owners have their clique, right? But I don't think that's a majority consensus if you talk to the average fan or people within the room, right? Or in the building, right?
No, absolutely.
But these guys are a clique, right? You're one of 30 or 32 people, depending on what sport you have.
It goes back to
of over 8 billion.
It goes back to what we were talking about before. Are you going to be the one guy that stands against the 31? Because now they're going to turn on you.
You're going to definitely.
So it's the same thing with the cop. It's the same thing with the teacher. It's the same thing with the the athletes on the team. I'm going to ride with my people. Yeah. So if I'm not a racist and I'm all for you getting in, I'm all for it. Yeah, it's a beautiful thing.
Right.
29 of the guys here are racist. Guess what's not going to happen? I'm not damn sure putting my stake on the table for you to get in. So I might not be racist, but I do give a fuck about my family and my way of living.
But it goes back to what we were talking about earlier. You know what? It's not about the government, fuck you, ever as a majority. I'm worried about myself. Yeah. I'm going to take away from everybody else so I can eat.
Exactly.
They're not, and like you said, they might not be racist, but they're not going to say, I'm not going to lose my share.
It only takes a couple of people to be racist and then the other guys to not want to. So like, let's just say, sticking to the NFL, let's just say Jerry Jones and Robert Kraft are racist. The other 30 good people love everybody. Right. Don't give a fuck about none of that. You turning on Jerry Jones? He got the biggest mouth of all of them. He's the one. Like, at the end of the day, he hasn't won since 1995. But everybody in the world knows who Jerry Jones is.
Right.
You're not going against Jerry Jones. And Robert Kraft is the one that wins all the time. Right. Maybe not anymore, but he's got the most championships. He's the one. Winner. You're not going against these two guys. You're asking to get kicked out of this whole situation. And guess what you're not going to do? Risk that.
Right.
I wouldn't.
You're not going to go against
I wouldn't. I don't give a fuck how much I believe in Calvin. When you tell me, like, hey, you believe in Calvin so much, we don't want to pay you anymore. Well, I mean, he ain't that good. Actually, I think he suck a little bit. I mean, like, at that point, I'm gonna just pull back. Like, it ain't that I don't want him here, but I don't care that much to where I'm gonna affect my personal.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
It's about personal gain.
That's more so what it comes down to.
I
never think the racist is the majority. I always think, hey, there's the one racist guy. It's how loud is that guy? That's the question. How loud is the racist guy?
Right.
If he's Jerry Jones, he's fucking loud.
And that
dude is yelling into a bullhorn.
And that has nothing to do with money. That is power.
That's power.
Definitely power.
That power outranks every dollar in that
Jerry
room.
Jones is the guy.
Yep. Collectively, there's multiple billions.
Yeah.
There's multiple billions collectively amongst the 30X of people. But this one dude has more power in this room than the collective billions combined.
If you look at Dan Snyder, he should have been gone.
Oh, 100%.
He should have been gone. You know, when he got gone, when they decided he is trying to hurt us.
Right.
Like, as long as
when
he was out there.
It's a bad look for me, now you're gone.
As long as he was out there having all these sexual assaults and all of that type of shit going on, it was kind of like, yeah, you know, that's his thing. We're not worried about it. He do whatever he do over there. We don't care. As soon as it was, hey, I'll tell on some of the shit y'all be doing. All of a sudden, collectively, hey, this is good. He got to go.
Right.
And now he's selling his team.
Right.
All the time, though, with all of the racist shit and all of the sexual shit, he never was in trouble with having to sell his team until he turned on them. Yeah. And then they immediately turned on him. Until it affects my bottom line, I don't give a fuck what you do. But the minute anything come across my ticker, talk about you trying to take 10 cents,
we got a problem.
You got to go.
It's an instant problem.
Yeah, it's an instant problem.
Anytime
it's always going to come back to how this is going to affect me personally.
Leak on the mind. It's a problem.
Yeah, and they're not about to fuck around and find out. I'll tell you.
Yeah, they're not gonna fuck around and find out. He gonna fuck around and find out. He fucked around and found out.
Right.
Immediately. Shit.
Do not pass go. Do not collect
Soon as the news
$200.
came out that he was, soon as the news came out that he was talking about, oh well, I got dirt on people. The next week, his team was up for sale.
Yeah.
That's how I go. As long as you ain't affecting me, I mean, I care, but I don't care.
I don't.
Yeah.
As soon as you're affecting me, I care a lot.
But I think you see it with all the player like the lawsuits and what do you call them? Not assaults, but accusations, right? On these guys, right? Until something really comes out, you look at John Gruden, right? Had all the issues, right? All of a sudden, you're affecting me and my publicity. You're gone.
Gone
But,
instantly.
but
It doesn't-
even that, this is
And people knew how bad he was, but until the media, until it got put out there, now you're affecting me.
this the bigger issue I have with that, and it's going to touch on something totally different, but that's happening a lot in America. He had two things going on. One was racist. That came out first. And it was like, you saw a lot of people coming, oh, well, it was so long ago. You know, everybody should just take it easy. It's not a big deal. You had Tony Dungy on TV. Oh, you know, I know the guy. He's not like that. You had Stephen A on TV. Oh, no, he's not that kind of guy. 2 days later, it came out that he made some comments about about homosexuality. He was fired that night. That's the difference in this country between what this country cares about. And right now, it's 100% about LGBTQ. That's the big bully on the block. You cannot, if you do anything to bother them, your ass is grass.
And I think, I think it's the
Mowed grass.
the
Mowed grass.
it's the narrative of what the media wants to push and what's going to drive the click and the views, right? All across social media platforms is what you see. It's Pride Month. It's Pride Game. It's Pride. What do? You man or woman or whoever you want to be, do what you got to do. You're not affecting me. Don't bring it on me. I'm not going to bring my straightness upon you. But it's being put into our. It's forced, and it's a
forced, man.
0.5%
got
of
that
the
shit in
population. Not even
cartoons, bro.
right, and it's to a point where, like you said, it's the media that drives the ratings and the clicks, and it drives the funding for these teams. Like you said, he got fired 2 days later, because of that.
Immediately. Like, oh no, you can't call no or whatever it is that he was saying.
Look at the baby
that led to that.
Look at the rapper the baby. He
murdered
him.
a
He murdered a motherfucker and was able to still become a rapper. But he said some shit about the people.
Yeah,
They
come for you.
It's crazy. Like, you can kill a motherfucker.
Yeah, that's the
you can't
thing right there.
disrespect
You turn into Epstein
wild
at that
about the
point.
LGBT.
Immediately.
Yeah,
You
right.
can take a life and have more consideration than coming after the alphabet gang.
And a lot of times it's not even coming after them. That's the real problem I have with it.
They so
It's not
sensitive,
necessarily
man.
like
ABC
it's not necessarily
Yeah,
coming after them.
Jesus.
Like if I'm a comedian,
No, it's
I'm
a feeling.
literally
Like
gonna go
they
out here
feel
and talk
like
about
they're being
everybody.
attacked.
There's nobody you don't talk about as a comedian.
Everybody in this room can have
group.
opinion but me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And if I voice my opinion, guess what? You're canceled.
Your
Forget it.
opinion's
You're done.
trash.
Yeah.
It don't matter what it
Yeah.
is about it. I just
Don't
I
say
can't have
yeah,
opinion.
whatever it is, it's trash.
Yeah,
You
You're
absolutely
canceled.
cannot say anything
Say
about
nothing.
gay
If
people
you with them or you
going
with them or
down.
against them.
And
That's
it's
how they look
fast.